Welcome back to I Am Angus, brought to you by the American Angus Association and the iGenity Profile for Angus, providing Angus breeders with comprehensive genomic results for multiple economically important traits.
I had reached a point in my life where I had become morbidly obese. My health was at long-term risk. While I didn't have any immediate health issues, I guarantee I was a diabetic heart attack waiting to happen at some point. And I knew I had to do something. I'd always been physically active, had always walked a lot, and some internal switched, and I started picking up my walking more and more. Had gotten to the point where I was jogging a little bit, and I started literally running from one power pole to the next. I'd look around, see if anyone was coming down the country road, and if they weren't, I'd try to make it one power pole, two power poles, half mile one day, and I was so thrilled. Broke into tears at that point. Made it 2 miles then one day, and it just started building from there. Got a training schedule, jumped in at week 12 and ran my first marathon 12 weeks later. Just with a goal to just complete it. And that went well enough that I set a new goal for my next self to run another one in a Boston Marathon qualifying time, because that's just kind of the gold standard for runners to be able to have said you've run a Boston Marathon. So the next year I qualified with all of 2 minutes to spare. And then this year I ran the Boston Marathon, which is something I would have never thought in a million years I could do. So that has really been a positive experience for me in terms of how I live my life, running and otherwise. I'm actually a 4th generation cattle producer, but this format of the ranch has been in existence since 1986. When I graduated from Kansas State University, my father and I started the ranch as a commercial cow-calf operation. We have had commercial Angus-based cows ever since, and added registered Angus to the operation in 1993. What I love most about what I do is tying it all together start to finish. I love being in the beef business, and I love that we take our cattle all the way from calving and sell beef products. That whole entire process to me is fascinating. It's very engaging from an intellectual standpoint. It's a job that's physical. Both of us enjoy being physical in our work. And it's a job that me, especially as a mom, I have my family around me. They can go along with me. They can learn valuable life lessons. They can gather early responsibility and be right there with you every step of the way. And that's not something a traditional office job affords to a person. The future for our ranch, I would love for our daughters to come back to this ranch. I think producers, if we do a good job as an industry and producers of educating our consumers and getting our story out, I think there will always be a demand for high quality, great tasting, nutritious beef. But I think it's incumbent upon all of us to do our part in getting that story out there. In general, most people like beef. They are looking for permission to eat it and have a misperception that it is something that is not healthy, that it's an occasional treat. And they're just thrilled to find out that it can be a cornerstone. I could not do what I do without beef. And most athletes, the most everyday people, couldn't do what they do without that complete protein and that nutrient-dense package of vitamins and minerals. It's an important cornerstone of a healthy diet.